I don't know how you go from loving someone so much to just wishing that they didn't even exist.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ia's Facts Buzz, your ultimate source for all things dramatic, hilarious, and utterly ridiculous in the world of reality TV. Today we're talking about another wild moment from 90 Day Fiancé. Just when we thought it was over, Liz and Big Ed give us one last explosive fight. Grab your popcorn and buckle up, because this is going to be a fun and sarcastic ride through their breakup saga. So picture this: Liz is in Arkansas, packing up her things after Big Ed called off their wedding and ghosted her. It's been a month, and Liz has returned from San Diego with her mom, Patty, to collect the rest of her belongings.
Don't know if I'm ever gonna see him again. So I know I have to say goodbye to him, but I just want to get my stuff out and leave.
Barely 5 minutes into packing, Ed starts an argument classic, right?
I understand why Liz is pissed off at me. Okay, I canceled the wedding. But for her to come in with her mom and just fly off the handle, this is the main reason why I ended our relationship.
He accuses Patty of not raising Liz right and abandoning her. Oh, Ed, always knowing how to escalate things to DEFCON 1. Liz, understandably, storms off in tears. Seriously, Ed, you couldn't just let her pack in peace? Eventually, Liz composes herself and prepares to say goodbye to Ed for what might be the final time. But does she really need to say goodbye to him? I mean, after that argument, what's the point? Spoiler alert, she's going to wish she had just left without a word.
I don't know how you go from loving someone so much to just wishing that they didn't even exist.
So Liz gathers her courage and heads down to say her final goodbye to Ed. But of course, Ed isn't done yet. He tries to gaslight everyone by saying Liz is mad because he called off the wedding.
I'm sorry I blew up at your mom, but she was coming at me.
Doesn't matter, Ed. You need to learn how to talk to women, period. Doesn't matter who comes at you.
Well,
just know.
That's hearsay.
No, Ed, she's mad because you ghosted her for several days and then canceled the wedding without a conversation. Classic Ed, trying to rewrite history even when it's all caught on camera.
Yeah, but
Thank you for your apology. There's no excuse.
Thank you.
Own it. You should have done it. You don't talk to women that way, period.
Liz calls him out on his nonsense, but Ed, being the insufferable man-child he is, can't handle it. Your mom wasn't being a woman, she was being a bit. Stop right there. Ed, you were doing so well with the apology, but of course, you had to ruin it by making excuses.
Okay, your mom wasn't being a woman. She was being a...
Just
How
stop.
did I embed?
Stop.
Liz,
See,
you're being
this is what we're not.
ridiculous.
Just, you owned up to it.
Okay,
Take an
fine.
apologies,
Got
but
it.
don't make excuses.
Got it, fine.
It's like watching a stubborn kid in a schoolyard argument, but this kid is 57 years old.
I have a request from you.
You don't get no requests, Ed.
I want you to learn from this
You
experience.
learned from it, Ed.
I want you to
I've already
learn.
learned.
Have you?
And the bickering continues. Ed tells Liz she needs to learn from this experience. Learn from what, Ed? From your masterclass in how not to treat a woman?
I'm worried about your next relationship. I want you to be happy.
My next
And
relationship.
if you don't change, you're never going to be happy.
If I don't change.
Correct.
If I don't change.
If you don't change.
Says the one who can't talk to a fucking woman.
Liz rightly points out that if Ed doesn't change, he's never going to be happy. But Ed, always the contrarian, flips it on her.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not talking about a relationship, Ed. I'm trying to say goodbye to you, and you're trying to bring up the next guy that comes into my life? Are you fucking kidding me?
Saying she doesn't know how to talk to men. Really, Ed? That's your defense. Liz is just trying to say goodbye, but Ed brings up her next relationship.
Liz,
Why don't you
you
just
don't know
be-
how to talk to men.
You're not a man, Ed. You're a fucking child.
Okay, bye. Have a nice life.
I'm not talking about a relationship, Ed. I'm trying to say goodbye to you, and you're bringing up the next guy that comes into my life. Are you kidding me, Liz? You nailed it. Ed's deflection tactics are as transparent as ever.
God, I
Liz,
hate you.
you're so triggered.
I fucking hate you so much.
You're so triggered.
Fuck you, Ed.
Wasn't the first time I heard that.
In a final, desperate attempt to turn the tables, Ed says, Liz, you don't know how to talk to men, and Liz, with the perfect comeback, replies, you're not a man, Ed, you're a effing child, boom. Mic drop. Ed's response? A squeaky okay bye. Have a nice life. Oh, Ed, using Disney Channel level lines at 57. It's almost endearing if it weren't so pathetic. Ed then resorts to the classic internet troll line. You're so triggered, yes, Ed, because nothing screams emotional maturity like parroting a 14-year-old's insult from a YouTube comments section.
My heart is trying to say goodbye. His is not there.
Finally, Liz manages to get out of there, and we're left wondering how these two ever lasted 3 years. The love might have been real at one point, but it's clear they're better off apart. And honestly, after this, who can blame Liz for being done with Ed?
The love was real, but I think at the end of the day, it's better to have to start over than to be in the wrong relationship.
So what's next for Ed and Liz? Hopefully, a lot of self-reflection and maybe some therapy. And speaking of therapy, huge thanks to our sponsor, BetterHelp, for making therapy accessible and helping people navigate tough times like these. Click the link in the description for a discount on your first month. Now, let's rewind a bit and give you the full context. Liz and Ed's relationship has been a roller coaster from the start. They've broken up and gotten back together more times than anyone can count. Their relationship was always marked by intense arguments, jealousy, and let's be honest, a lot of toxicity. Ed's habit of ghosting Liz and making major decisions without her input has always been a point of contention. Remember the time Ed left Liz in the middle of the night without a word? That wasn't just a one-time thing. It's a pattern of behavior. Ed's way of dealing with conflict is to run away, and Liz is left picking up the pieces. This time, she decided to take control and move back to San Diego. But of course, she had to come back for her stuff, and that's when things exploded again. Let's not forget Patty, Liz's mom, who has been a constant support for Liz throughout this ordeal. Patty's presence during the packing wasn't just for emotional support, it was a shield against Ed's unpredictable behavior. And as expected, Ed couldn't resist throwing jabs at Patty, accusing her of not raising Liz right. Classic deflection, Ed. But Patty held her ground, and Liz eventually took a moment to compose herself before facing Ed one last time. It's like watching a scene from a drama series, except this is real life, or as real as reality TV gets anyway. Now, let's add a bit of sarcasm and humor to lighten the mood. Picture this Ed, the 57-year-old man-child, standing there with his best Disney Channel comeback. Have a nice life? Oh, Ed, sweetie, you really thought that was a zinger, didn't you? It's like watching a middle school breakup, but with more wrinkles and fewer hormones. And Liz, bless her heart, trying to impart some wisdom to Ed. You need to learn how to talk to women well, Liz. You're not wrong, but expecting Ed to learn anything at this point might be overly optimistic. It's like trying to teach a goldfish to ride a bicycle, entertaining to watch, but ultimately pointless. Ed, living in his own delusional world, believes Liz is mad because he called off the wedding. No, Ed, she's mad because you ghosted her like a teenager avoiding a breakup text. The man has the emotional maturity of a cactus, and not the cute, Instagrammable kind, more like the prickly, unapproachable kind that you regret touching. Ed's final attempt to deflect and blame Liz for their issues is just the cherry on top of this dysfunctional Sunday. You don't know how to talk to men, Ed, darling. You don't know how to talk to anyone without making it about yourself. So where do Liz and Ed go from here? Hopefully far, far away from each other. Liz needs time to heal and focus on herself and her daughter, Riley. As for Ed, maybe some deep introspection and professional help would do him wonders. And maybe, just maybe, he'll learn how to talk to women or anyone, really without causing a scene. Their journey has been a wild ride, and while it's provided endless entertainment for us, it's also a stark reminder of what not to do in a relationship. If you find yourself relating to either of them, it might be time to reevaluate your choices. Looking at the bigger picture, Liz and Ed's relationship is a classic example of how toxic dynamics can spiral out of control. It's easy to laugh at their antics, but there's a lesson here about communication, respect, and knowing when to walk away. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say goodbye and mean it. And remember, folks, it's never too late to seek help. If you're in a similar situation, don't be afraid to reach out for support. Whether it's friends, family, or a professional therapist, there's always someone who can help you navigate through tough times. Breakups and conflicts can be incredibly challenging, but you don't have to go through them alone. That's all for today's episode of Easy Facts Buzz. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more sarcastic takes and dramatic breakdowns of your favorite reality TV moments. See you next time.